They're worth 6. But I'm not looking for resale. I'm looking for 1 mile.
Yeah.
It's basically what we have, small engine like that.
Yeah, once he gets in a new car, I want to drive it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit different when you have an old car.
I think you get 4,500 for your white car.
Yeah, I'm just going to love that. I have to go with you.
Yeah.
Don't rush it.
And then you got to get, well, we're going to sell from my shop anyway. And then the other cars got a little 18 to 22. So if we could get almost 6, 55 to 6.
Hey!
Sean, come on. She's got a job to do, honey. She really does. Yeah, she has a job, okay?
I wish they didn't have
I'm sorry, but she does, okay?
So if we can get 5,500 to 6,000, that's a bit of a bump to a car. Especially if we pay $2,500 for the bike. If we're going to sell for $1,500 more, $1,000 more, think about it. We didn't put $1,000 in it. You got pretty good reason. You're lucky to wait till the horse. Flip them.
The train of life now. Why didn't you leave the phone left last night? It
doesn't matter.
We're moving, please sit down. Sit down, please. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the Greenfield Village Railroad. For your personal safety, please remain in your seats while the train is in motion. Keep your head, arms, legs, and feet inside the cars at all times. Parents, if you're boarded with any little ones, please place yourselves on the outside of the road. If that is not practical, make sure they're held or easily within their reach. We'll say goodbye to Amy and Pat here for getting us out on time. We now begin our journey to a portion of the final district at our subterranean station. The great building is a soybean laboratory. Materials are paint, the reduced then have a soybean oil base. The white farmhouse that we're approaching was the birthplace of Henry Ford. He was born here in July of 1863. The farm was located just outside of Detroit, comprised of 70 acres, and the family raised sheep.
No, no, that's not him. He's a kid.
You're welcome to stop by. by, go inside, and see what life was like for Henry growing up here as a young boy. Now, if you look to your left, just past the farmhouse, you can look down on our main street. Here you'll find the Ford Motor Company Model T rides.
They are crowded enough, I think.
Our 1913 Herschel Spillman Carousel, the right cycle shop, and right home. We're now approaching Menlo Park. It's just Thomas Edison's laboratory in New Jersey. He's credited with over 1,000 patents for this facility. You're welcome to stop by, stroll the grounds, and even go inside. You can check out his incandescent light bulb. Now, if you look to your left across the street, the yellow building is the Sarah Jordan boarding house. This is where all the single young men that worked for Edison would stay and live. It was one of the first buildings that Edison had electrified. Next to it is his Fort Myers, Florida laboratory. When we get too cold in New Jersey, he would go to Florida to continue his We're now coming up to the Eckley Bridge. This is our gateway into our Purchase and Parlors district. From Susquehanna Station, you can go up the hill into Noah Webster's home. He is credited with giving us our first American dictionary. It took over 25 years to complete. Or you can stroll down Maple Lane to visit all of the homes we have here in the village. You can even go into our Susquehanna plantation, or down the end of Maple Lane to see the windmill and our colonial Daggett farmhouse. Now, as we come into Susquehanna Station, we can say hi to Mike, Station Master here. And again, I ask everybody to please remain in your seats until we come to a complete stop. Once the whistle sounds, it will be safe to exit on the left-hand side. Please, wait for that whistle. Welcome to the Greenfield Village Railroad. Once again, for your personal safety, please remain seated while the train is in motion. Keep your head, arms, legs, and feet inside the cars at all times. Parents, if you're boarded with little ones, please place yourselves on the outside of the row. If that is not practical, make sure they're held or easily within your reach. We'll say goodbye to Mike here at Susquehanna. We now begin our journey around the village to the north side at Smith Creek. We're passing by our Susquehanna plantation, which came from Tidewater, Maryland. Originally comprised of 700 acres, and in 1832, the principal crops were corn and tobacco. We're now approaching our Cape Cod windmill. This was built in 1649 and is the last known original structure of its kind left in the United States. If you ever want to try colonial living, our Daggett farmhouse next to it predates the American Revolutionary War. It was built in 1754. If you ever have a chance, stop by, you can go inside, and they'll be happy to show you what life was like back in our colonial days.
This is what I was thinking before, like right here. Like right here, see?
We're now passing by our pastures for the horses. They get to relax here when they're not working. our 1932 Edison. This was built by Mr. Ford at his Rouge complex for his very best friend, Thomas Edison. Back then, the Rouge was the northern terminus for his Detroit, Toledo, and Ironton Railroad, so he had a very large repair shop there for the locomotives. Our nature reserve. This is over 20 acres of pristine forest that have been allowed to grow untouched by human hands. As we go into the reserve, this will give you an idea of what it was like to travel across the United States in the early days of the railroads. Back then, our major means of transportation were by stagecoach, wagon, horseback, or even walking.
We lose that. We're not getting it back.
Now, if you can look to your right down through the trees, you'll see a portion of the original Rouge River. This section was not channelized by the Army Corps of Engineers, but was allowed to stay in its pristine condition, similar to what it would have looked like almost 200 years ago.
For that man right there.
The river has been reconnected to the main channel. The water is clean enough to support fish and wildlife. During the summer months, you'll see a lot of storks, cranes, and herons all down there catching fish. The water just looks a little dirty because the Rouge is a very silty river. It is carrying a lot of sediments from its upper reaches.
Why is it going so slow?
And right now the engineer is doing what is called a running blowdown. This is standard procedure on all operating steam locomotives. This was the easiest way of eliminating any sediment that might be forming in the boiler. As we pass through Walnut Grove, you can see the backsides of Cotswell Cottage, the Giddings, Webster, and Frost homes. We're now approaching our Henry Ford Academy. To attend, you must be a resident of Wayne County. It is done on the lottery system, so if your name is drawn, you're allowed to attend here grades 9 through 12 for free. Ninth grade starts at the academy next to the museum. The main building here is for grades 10 and 11. Now as we slowly go around the turn, you will find 3 railroad cars that have been combined into 3 large classrooms. This is where the seniors finish out their final year.
This is where I was thinking going like next weekend, like right here. In this area.
We'll now be going by our Swanee Lagoon. This is only used now for flood control here in the village. During the summer months, our summer camp crews are allowed to take the canoes and paddle around the islands. Now as we climb the hill towards Smith Creek, if you look to your left, just past the stone building, you will see the mark of the mountain. This was built by Mr. Ford in honor of his mother and mother-in-law. Next to it is our taste of history, offering a wide variety of food, served cafeteria style. If you prefer a sit-down meal, Eagle Tavern next to it with a stagecoach stop between Detroit and Chicago. Our wait staff are dressed in period clothing, and the meals are brought to your table. They are open from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. today. Now as we come into Smith Creek, this can be your exit point to go 2 blocks over to our main street. Here you'll find the carousel. Down the hill you can go to Ford Motor Company, Wright Cycle Shop. 2 blocks over from Town Hall will be Menlo Park. Down Junction you can walk the front of the Roundhouse to see what they're doing inside. And go to Liberty Craftworks to watch our artisans hard at work creating glass, pottery, tin, printing, and weaving. You can also go into our glass museum there. It is well worth the time to go in and see all the different styles of glass that have been produced over these many years. As we come into Smith Creek, we should say hi to Mike and Conductor Bill, who will be taking over for a couple of turns. Again, I ask everyone, please remain seated until we come to a complete stop. Once the whistle sounds, there will be safety exit on the left-hand side. Please wait for that whistle.